No idea. No idea.
Do they know it didn't stand for anything? It was just Harry S. Truman.
Like we make people's middle names up and use F for another reason.
Harry Truman. You even said, what's his daughter's name? And I said Margaret.
Margaret
I
is
knew
it.
that. It's scary. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Joe Burrow throws it 61 times. The Nuggets and Lakers take the court, and Josh Donaldson gets ejected in a memorable way. But we begin today with the Boston Celtics blowing another big lead to the Miami Heat last night and losing again. The Celtics were outscored by 20 points in the third quarter. And after the game, there was shouting emanating from the Boston locker room. It is being reported by The Athletic that Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart had to be separated. After all that, Brown said, quote, "This series is far from over," unquote. Wilbon, is it far from over?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if you go 3-0 down or 3-0 up, then it's essentially over, citing the history of the league. I think there's a long way to go, potentially, and I think there will be a long way to go. I now, Tony, don't really think the Celtics will win. I think Miami will win, but I still think it'll be a long, and it's already been a fascinating series. But, Tony, I'm going to attack a little bit, or at least criticize my brethren, the people in our business. We used to cover a lot of games, you and I, for like 40 years each. And we heard screaming outside locker rooms all the time. And Gary Washburn for the Boston Globe, he's a veteran sports writer and a damn good one. And he made this observation in his piece. But I hear a lot of other people who never covered anything screaming about how, oh, this is crazy, and they were fighting, and there you could hear sounds. To me, if you lose these two games the Celtics lost, you ought to hear that. Anything less than that, they're not taking it seriously. I throw clubs and scream when I lose to you in a friendly golf match on a Saturday afternoon. They damn better be angry and upset with themselves and each other. And to say this is a big deal, that part of it, I don't get that, Tony.
So I'm going to leave that aside, and I'm going to go back to the question, does it feel like it's over? It feels right now like it's 2 games from over, and I like Boston. And I've sat here and picked Boston.
Yep.
And I look at Miami, and they've got what it takes. They're a really quality team. Jimmy Butler makes big plays. Adebayo makes big plays. Goran Dragic makes big plays. Robinson and Hero make big shots. You watch these, you can lose. You can play pretty well and lose in 4 games if the other team plays better. Miami, you said this the other day, that Miami's good from the top down, and you're right. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, and they got a team. Their coach plays a lot of different people, and you know what, Mike? They're ready to go in the game because they've played in all of these games.
Yeah.
I still like Boston. I'm not knocking Boston. I am saying to you that Miami looks better right now.
Tony, I
they
just
do.
mentioned this. I was trying to talk my friend Hans off the ledge, Celtic fanatic. And I said, hey, Denver was 2 games down twice in the last 3 weeks. They came back to force game 7s and won. Also, Toronto was 2-0 down to Boston. They were within a possession, within a single play from winning a 7-game series. So, no, 2-0 doesn't make a series over. You like your position when you're up 2, but it doesn't mean anything definitively.
Let me suggest this. There's a lot more pressure on Boston than there is on Miami. And what Miami looks very good at is understanding, other than Jimmy Butler, everybody knows his role. Jimmy Butler can do everything because he's earned that. If Boston presses and tries to win 3 games in one night, they could be out of here.
By the way, Jimmy Butler, real quickly, Jimmy Butler scored 14 points last night and, to me, was the best player on the floor. I mean, I know Goran Dragic, again, had the points necessary. But Jimmy Butler, Tony, the plays that need to be made, as you mentioned, he makes them all the time. It's great to watch him. He doesn't have to score 40 to do it or shoot step-back threes all night. The Western Conference Finals tip off tonight. The Lakers haven't played since eliminating the Rockets last Saturday, while the Nuggets are fresh off their Game 7 win over the Clippers on Tuesday. LeBron says his respect for the Nuggets is, quote, out of this world, close quote. Tone, do you respect the Nuggets enough to favor them in this series?
No, I favor LeBron. I've sat here on this show a lot of times and said you don't go broke betting on LeBron. Okay, their season series was 3-1. L.A., and the one game Denver won, LeBron did not play in that game. I'm just going to say this to you, Mike. We can talk about the basketball part of it all you want. But I think that LeBron, in the year that Kobe Bryant died, I think LeBron has assumed the mantle of leadership of the Lakers, of the franchise, not just the team. He's put that on his shoulders. I think he's going to drive that team to win a championship. Mike, I really do. I think LeBron at this point in his career is concerned mainly with legacy. And if I think that, and it's occurred to me, it's occurred to him 20 times already.
Yeah.
So I do like the position the Lakers are in.
There are basketball things we could talk about, starting actually with Anthony Davis, Tony, and what it is that his talent and size and his hunger to be in the finals and win, present, all of that. Sure, we could start with Anthony Davis. And I'm going to dovetail off what you said about LeBron. I mean, the one thing the Clippers didn't have, as it turns out, they got a leader in their coach, Doc Rivers. But in terms of players, I mean, guys who can galvanize a team, guys who can challenge a team, guys who can threaten teammates for being lesser when he doesn't want them to be lesser, in that category of guys like, Russell and Magic and Bird and Jordan and Kobe. When you start talking that group of guys, LeBron James is in that group. And LeBron James has been watching all of this so closely. And he's got things in his favor he can point to. Denver coming back twice is all you need. But these other series, LeBron can and will use it all. We've seen him do it time after time. I am not going to underestimate Denver anymore. I don't want to get into a prediction about this series. What I do predict, though, is LeBron James will have the Lakers playing as well as they can play from tip-off tonight.
So I like Denver, and you have to like Denver. Denver was down 3-1 in 2 series, and they won, and that's never been done before. They've got the grit that Bruce Arians wishes Tom Brady had. And Jokic is wonderful, and Murray is wonderful. Anthony Davis is really good. There's a quote by the coach, Mike Malone, and he said, the biggest question is, are our guys satisfied? Because they've already made history. And you do wonder about that. It's a very interesting concept. Wilbon, you took your shots at Winged Foot yesterday. You said it was far too easy.
It was.
Well, it's harder today.
Yep.
Almost everyone who played in the morning was over par, although Dustin Johnson was even. The highlight of the morning was your boo, Bryson DeChambeau, eagling number 9, his last hole to take the clubhouse lead at -3. What would you like to talk about?
I mean, we can first, let me say, yesterday it was easy and it was overhyped. Today, Winged Foot was what we're told is going to be. They were what we thought they were, to paraphrase the great Dennis Green. So Winged Foot was what we were promised it was going to be today. And with the weather cooling down and drying out and the greens drying out and no moisture, it seems like they're going to have that challenge all weekend, Tony. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to be tougher than Thursday. I'm just fascinated to see who can keep us calm. I mean, Tiger had a situation on 18 again, in which it was like you and me on the weekend flubbing a shot.
Tiger and
just
Phil, see you around.
Phil.
See you around.
Wow.
Phil, enjoy your Amstel Light. Enjoy that, because you're out of the tournament.
Come on.
Here, look, here's a couple of things. First of all, you slammed Winged Foot, and you praised your own course, which I loved, Olympia Fields. I've loved that you praised your own course. But the people at Winged Foot wanted it to be harder. The USGA set the pins. All right, now they set them differently today. I talked to Steve Sands early this morning. He said it's windy already. It's going to be windy all day. The guys in the afternoon are going to have it tough. The 3 leaders, Reed and McIlroy and Thomas, in their first 9 holes were all in plus. They were all in plus at that.